Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Carbon Fan 921, aka Matthew Davis. Alright, and before the end of the year comes, and before I make my list for my top 10 favorite movies, well, actually, just so you know, I'm going to be doing top 11 because there was one more movie on that list that I just didn't want to leave out. And no, I'm not trying to copy the Nostalgia Critic. But welcome to my top 10 or 11. I gotta look at the posters again that I put. Um, my top 11 favorite movies of 2015. Why am I making the list for my favorite horror movies of the year? Because horror movies my favorite genre. But pretty much, let's get to it. Now, I am a big fan of horror movies, and this was a really good year for horror movies. I mean, there were some that were pretty much but here are some that I really enjoyed for this year. So let's get to it. Number 11, Zombieverse. Alright, it's kind of a weird, cheesy B movie kind of stuff, but you know what? This really takes me back to the cheesy monster zombie stuff that's been going on back then, but I just really enjoyed it for what it was. It was kind of cheesy, corny, fucked up, goofy stuff, but you know what? It's well deserved on this list, so pretty much, yeah, number 11, Zombieverse. Okay, at my number 10th spot, I have Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. This movie really surprised me for being a really underrated and very, very crazy horror film. I mean, I really enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, it wasn't the perfect zombie movie. It's not as good as Zombieland, but this personally had a lot of fun, gory, disturbing stuff that I love about zombie movies. Pretty much number 10 definitely had to put Scout's Guide to Zombie Apocalypse. Number 9, I put down Unfriended. This movie really surprised me. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. And it was very, very creepy and kind of strange too. And I will say, it does have some pretty scary stuff going on. And I enjoy it more than most of the Paranormal Activity sequels, if you know what I mean. But Unfriended, I definitely just really enjoyed it. So, pretty much, yeah, number 9, Unfriended. Number 8 is a movie that really surprised me, and that is none other than The Visit. This was directed by M. Night Shyamalan, who made a lot of crappy films, but this really surprised me. M. Night Shyamalan is back at making good films again. This was a really good film. I really enjoyed it. This was one of M. Night Shyamalan's best films since Signs, but really, this was just a really good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, I definitely put down The Visit as number 8. Number 7, Crimson Peak. This film just, oh my god, definitely blew me away for how visually stunning it is and for how bloody and disturbing it is. I mean, it just really had just some really good and memorable moments throughout the film. Guillermo del Toro definitely did a pretty good job making this film, so I definitely have to put it as number 7. Number 6, Krampus. This was directed by Michael Dougherty, who also directed Trick or Treat, and this film definitely took me by surprise. It was very well made. It's one of those goofy horror comedy kind of movies, but you know, they just did it really well with this film. I really had a lot of fun when I went to go see it. This was definitely just awesome. Definitely just really perfect movie to watch on Christmas. Number 5, Insidious Chapter 3. I am a huge fan of the Insidious movies, and I did not want there to be a third film, but this really surprised me. It was really scary and definitely a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's not as good as the first film, might be a little bit better than the second film, but oh my god, I just really enjoyed this movie a lot. I cannot believe how good it was. Number 4, Spring. Very impressive movie. I mean, what more can I say? It definitely had some thrilling, some scary, just very strange moments, if you ask me, just really. But I really just definitely just I don't even know what more to say. Just number four is Spring, pretty much. Number three, The Final Girls. This movie definitely it's a pretty funny and just brings horror films back to the day. It's a really good kind of a parody, but this just definitely is an originally made and definitely fun. I just had a really great time with this movie. Just really a really good and fun horror film. Even though it's PG-13, it's still a lot of fun for what it is. Number two, The Gift. This isn't really much in the horror genre, but I will say it's very thrilling and suspenseful that it kind of makes you guessing until the very end of the movie, and that's definitely what it proves. It just shows to just really, I mean, don't expect going into this movie thinking it's some gory sexual horror film because it really isn't. It's more psychological. It has you guessing until the very end, which I like about the film. So yeah, pretty much definitely just check out The Gift if you haven't seen it. Number one, It Follows. This is my favorite horror film of the year. I just had such a great time with this. It was disturbing, it was creepy. It is a really smart and impressive horror film. This definitely feels like a horror film that took back into the 80s, and that's really what it proves right there that the horror genre isn't dead, nor will it ever be dead. I mean, there are some horror films this year that have been ugh, but this definitely proves how great the horror genre can be. So yeah, number one is It Follows for me. So that was my list for my top 11 favorite horror movies of 2015. So yeah, what do you guys think? Alright, just so you know, this was my list, not yours. So if you have a favorite, just tell me in the comment section below and tell me what your top 11 favorite horror movies of the year are, or you can tell me in the comment section below what your favorite horror movie of the year was. But if you're not a fan of horror movies, then that's okay. But yeah, that's all I like to say. See you guys later. Word out.